Please make sure your paper is labeled as water cycle once it focuses. We're going to be drawing a picture and then we're going to be filling in the picture from there. So first thing we need to do is we're going to draw at the bottom of our paper some grass, downward slope. Please make sure it's a downward slope. Obviously, if it's the water cycle, I'm going to need some what, guys? Water. So I'm going to draw some waves. I also need to draw the energy source of the water cycle. So raising your hand, if I'm asking what is the energy source of the water cycle, like what gives the water cycle energy, what am I going to be drawing here? And
The sun.
the sun, absolutely. So I have some grass or a hill, some water, top corner, you know what to do here, a sun. I'm feeling festive, so I put a smiley face in mine.
Yep.
Over to the left, I'm going to draw a tree, right? Because plants are involved here, so we're gonna have a new vocab word today. So I'm gonna draw a tree, and remember, like I said, your colors don't have to be exact to Miss Bev. But at the top of my tree, please make sure you're giving yourself enough room to write one vocab word with 5 words as its definition, right? So you should be able to fit about 6 words into the top of this tree. So depending how big you write, you know guys, I write a little larger, so mine's huge, okay? But make sure you have enough room in here so you can write the vocab word. So this is the base of our drawing. We're gonna be filling in the rest of it, but this is just the base. Water, grass, sun, tree. Tree large enough to put 6 words in. You ready? All right. Now, I'm looking at the water. Hey, is it gonna stay in one place? Can someone tell me, raising your hand, which direction is the water going to be moving in this diagram? Which direction is the water moving, Star? It's gonna be moving in circles. So that tells me my water is moving what direction? Up, down, left, right, honey.
All directions.
All directions, but here from the water is going which direction?
Down.
Not down,
Up.
up, right? So the water is gonna be moving up. But what is that process called, raising my hand, when the water is moving up? What is that process called, Naya? Evaporation. So inside the water, we're gonna write evaporation. So evaporation, E-V-A-P-O-R-A-T-I-O-N. And I'm gonna describe evaporation as H2O. Whoa, can someone help me? What's H2O again, guys?
Water.
Thank you. H2O droplets transform. What does transform mean? Change. Thank you. H2O droplets transform into H2O. I can't remember this last word. What is it? Connor?
Vapor.
Thank you. H2O vapor. H2O droplets transform into H2O vapor. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add our phase change here because I know it's from Unit 1, but we're bringing it back to Unit 2. If I'm going from my phase change and I'm starting as water droplets and turning into water vapor, I'm going from a what to a what? A liquid to a? Not a gas. A liquid to a gas. So I'm going to draw an arrow, liquid to a gas. And I just like to put a little box around mine. So when I go and look at this model later, I know everything in the box is a phase change. So it goes from liquid to a gas. Now following our water, because we already drew the arrow, so the water is going up. But as the water is going up, I'm gonna have to draw what now? What am I gonna have to draw above this? They're nice, they look fluffy. Some of us think we can sit on them, but you can't. Evelyn?
Clouds.
Clouds. Now, Miss Bev needs 2 clouds here, okay? I need a cloud close to where the water is going up, obviously. And then I need another cloud a little bit higher in the altitude. Now, evaporation to what? Ooh, who knows what the next step is in the water cycle? Evaporation and
Condensation.
condensation. So we're going to go ahead here and write condensation. And in condensation, we are now having okay, good. We are now having our H2O vapor, because that's what we have, because it's rising. Why can't liquid rise? I'm looking for a vocab word here. Daniel?
Density.
Thank you, because of the density. Sorry, I got excited. H2O vapor transforms, because we know what that word means, into H2O. What did we notice at our investigation earlier? The H2O vapor turned back into H2O what?
Water.
Water. So just water droplets. Are we done in this cloud?
Yep.
I don't have to write anything else in this cloud.
No.
What? What am I forgetting that I wrote at the bottom?
Oh, change.
The phase change. Thank you. You're going to say that, Jasenia? Awesome. So, Jasenia, what am I starting with? So, I have H2O vapor. What is that? A solid, liquid, or gas?
Gas.
Gas. So, I'm going to a gas to a what, love?
Liquid.
Thank you. If I was to ask you, before we even move further, because I know this class is capable, the water cycle is an example of what kind of heat transfer? Conduction, convection, or radiation? The water cycle is an example of what kind of heat transfer? Conduction, convection, or radiation? Haven?
Radiation.
Not radiation. Not radiation. Jace? Convection. Because we're already starting with heat is doing what, guys? Rising. And I'm starting in a circle. And I see Daniel's arms go like this in a circle, right? Because we're used to looking at convection currents that's attached to convection. Now, I have a higher cloud, right? So in this cloud, I'm going to write, this cloud is a higher, what does altitude mean?
Height.
Height, come on. Higher altitude cloud. And you know Miss Bev's always going to tell you, if you don't know what altitude is, write the word height beside it, underneath it, whatever. And I'll do it here for you. So we have a higher altitude cloud. That's important to know. What do you think this temperature of this higher altitude cloud could be? What do you think the temperature of this higher altitude cloud is going to be? What do you think it is? What do you think the temp of this higher altitude cloud? Brandon? You think this cloud's hot? You think it's cold, mild, huh? You think it's hot? If it's higher in the sky? Do we agree or do we disagree? Scar? You agree? Whoa. I'm going to say something different. Ans?
I disagree because when wait, what happened?
You came in hot, girl. But yes, you disagree. Tell us more.
Because when it goes through like condensation, sometimes it can turn into like icicles or
Baby, do you know your water cycle?
yeah.
I could tell. So in this cloud, she's absolutely right. This cloud is a higher altitude, so it's going to get a lot colder. Think about when you're on top of a mountain. What is the temperature on top of a mountain? It is Colder, you're higher in the sky. So she's correct, it's gonna get colder, and this cloud is gonna give us what's called crystallization. Now, if I don't know what the crystallization is, I can look at the root word. Get Miss Majors, baby. And the root word of crystal tells me I'm gonna get what kind of form of precipitation from here, probably.
Some sort of crystal, like
Crystal, right? What kind of precipitation? Rain, snow, sleet, or hail? Which one's gonna give us, what am I gonna get from this cloud? Sleet? I can also get what, Emmeline?
hail.
Hail? Can I get snow from here?
Yeah.
Yes. So crystallization is when our H2O vapor transforms into crystals. And this is typically where we get snow. Can I ask you another question that's going to really challenge some of us?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I have a higher altitude cloud, right? Means this cloud's very high in the sky. We talked about the temperature is colder. So let's say this temperature of this cloud is a 30 degrees, below freezing. The temperature on Earth is 80 degrees. As this cloud goes through precipitation, meaning it's going to fall, is that going to fall to Earth as snow?
No.
No.
It's gonna hail, rain.
It's going to become rain because of the difference in temperature. But if the cloud is 30 degrees and the weather on this Earth is 30 degrees, could it possibly come down as snow?
Yeah.
Could it be sleet?
Yeah.
Okay, it could even be hail. But is it going to more than likely be rain? It could be, you ever heard of freezing rain?
Yes.
Possibly, but it should be a lot colder in temperature.
Yeah, that's why we don't get snow.
That's why we don't get snow. It has to be like perfect conditions. All right, 2 questions. Excuse me. Anaya?
So does that mean condensation is like rain or?
No, condensation is the water vapor that turns into a liquid, right? Now, when the water vapor in the cloud gets too heavy, then it's gonna what? Fall down back to Earth as
Water.
some type of water, rain, snow, sleet, or hail. B,
So if a cloud is a gas, how can we see it?
because we're seeing all the particles together. The same way we see fog, right? The same way you see steam off of it. It's just all the particles are clumped together so we can see them, and then the light is bending through it. That's how we can. All right, so next underneath my cloud, I'm gonna draw some snowflakes,
Yay!
but I'm also gonna draw some raindrops. And I gave myself some room to write, and in here I'm clearly writing the word precipitation. So here is precipitation. And then I'm gonna add when clouds become too heavy, H2 droplets fall. All right, and then we're gonna write our 4 kinds of here: rain, snow, sleet, and hail. But these different forms of precipitation depend heavily on the what in the atmosphere? The temperature. So if you need to, go ahead and add the note. I'm gonna put a little star next to precipitation, and then underneath it, I'm gonna write a star again and just say depends on temp. I wrote temp because I'm running out of space, but if you want to write temperature, do you? Yes, baby?
Are we gonna talk about where it lands, or are we just gonna do words?
Oh, we got 2 more words, baby. We do. Tree in the ground.
Tree in the ground, tree in the ground.
All right, can I scroll up to the tree?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
This roll.
Can we still see?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. In our tree, we're putting our second to last vocab word, and we're doing amazing. But in our tree, and this should be new, how many of us have ever overwatered a plant before? We're all guilty as charged, okay? Now, how many of us overwatered a plant, came back, and noticed that the plant now has water on its leaves? Okay? A plant has a defense mechanism that if we overwater it, or even if it's overwatered out in the environment, it will push that water out onto its leaves.
Save it for later.
So you're not even save it for later, because something comes and the water goes somewhere off the leaves. Well, where's that water gonna go? Not.
It's gonna go to the air for evaporation.
It's gonna go to the air for evaporation. So our vocab word here is transpiration. You might have heard it when you say something transpires. It means something happens. So transpiration, all transpiration is evaporation of H2O droplets from plants. And you don't have to, but I want to add my favorite things I like to draw. You know what's happening here. Convection. Yeah. All right, can I scroll down from transpiration?
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't the next one talking about like the soil?
Yep, runoff.
Would it?
If you want to go ahead and be proactive, we're going to go ahead and write the word runoff as we're waiting for our friends. All right, what is runoff? Runoff is just the downhill flow of water. It will flow in two places. One of them is a lot of places, but two main places. The first one's a body of water. And that includes rivers, lakes, streams, ponds, puddles, anywhere where water is accumulating. And the second one, obviously, is back into the ground. Now, I spoke to the last classes about this, but you may have somebody in your family and or you, depending how rural you live, that may have a well, right? Well water is essentially groundwater, all right? Because you can just drink the water straight out of the well. Some people still like to go ahead and boil it because it has a slight minerally taste because it's absorbing all the minerals in the ground. But the ground acts like a filter and filters the water through it, and it will collect. How many of us have ever seen like Fiji water, like the water bottles that are square? That they sell you at hotels and they're so expensive? The reason why it comes from a very large aquifer of water that is naturally made underground. Once that aquifer runs out of water, there's no more Fiji water. All right? Anne's last question, and before I go to this picture, and then we're going to transition. Anne?
So two things. One, there's this place in called God Acres Spring Healing area.
Oh, in Blackville?
Yeah, that's like
Yes, I've been to Black. They have that Healing Springs water.
My dad and Papa, they go there every single time they need water, and we fill up like 10 big old thingies.
Yeah.
And then my mom and dad, we have we have a little filter thing in our house.
We do the same thing. So